That's more like it. Brightening up your Saturday night, it's the Eternal Baseball Podcast. I'm your host, Mark Weber, with my semi-regular co-host, Mike Irizarry, from the What's on Joe Mind podcast. Just joining us for a little Willie Randolph-less baseball.
Warm up that third chair, man. It's like 4 times in 6 weeks.
Telling you. Did Willie ever play for Oakland? Do I remember him in Oakland?
Yes. Yeah.
I should have done some roster voodoo and continued our Willie Randolph streak.
Willie was on that team in he was there for about a year and a half. He was a deadline acquisition. They picked him up from the Dodgers.
Okay.
He went to the Dodgers after he left the Yankees, and then they traded him for Stan Javier.
Yeah. Another former Yank, as I recall.
Yeah, he would eventually get there.
Ugh,
it was his Yankee time.
Not real good in New York, as I recall. But
No, good move by the Oakland, picking up a quality second baseman to replace the struggling Glenn Hubbard that year.
Oh.
I think it was 89, and then he stayed there through 90.
I remember Hubbard as a marginally talented Atlanta Brave on the Superstation.
He got to Oakland to play out the string, and they had a really good team and needed to upgrade from Glenn Hubbard.
I could see that. I can't blame them. So we are talking Oakland because there's only 3 teams that haven't made their Eternal Baseball podcast debut. We're down to Oakland, Tampa, and Milwaukee. And I hate to say it, but Tampa's been eliminated from the playoffs. So we probably should have got to them a little quicker. We'll do better next year.
They suck. Even Tampa doesn't like Tampa. Come on.
I got to say, watching Tampa struggle in Eternal Baseball makes my heart all warm because I always expect them to struggle in real baseball, and they never do anymore. No. So kudos to them. And unfortunately, the way Eternal Baseball is set up, there's not a lot of help coming. Although there will be rookies added to rosters at the end of the year. We try to take the average of every player's 3 best seasons, but we're not going to ignore a breakout rookie or a guy who can help a roster. And so they'll get Randy Irizarry at year's end, which will certainly help them out somewhere in that outfield. And also guys who have sensational years this year will factor those into their averages. So breakout guys like Vlad Jr. and deGrom's not a breakout guy, but the season's ridiculous and it'll pull up his average. Shohei Ohtani will be a lot better for the Angels in the second season.
deGrom and his 40-pitch limit will really tidy that bullpen.
But the stat on deGrom I love because he's hitting well is that he's driven in more runs than he's allowed.
Yeah.
Like, come on. At the All-Star break?
Yeah, it's pretty wrong.
It's ridiculous. So, pretty impressive. So, anyway, it is Oakland against Boston tonight. We chose Oakland. We wanted to get one of the 3 teams we had done. And Boston is still in the race, though they had a tough week. And they're starting to lose ground in the East to the New York Yankees, which doesn't bother Mike or me one little bit. So, let's take a look here. We'll get the screen shared here. We'll look at the week that was for Eternal Baseball. We're going to share audio too, or the game will be boring. There we go. So, take a look at the week that is. It's a short week because we had a late podcast last week and we're a day early this week. So it's only a 4-game week. So it's a little hard to stretch out the big winners and the big losers. But your 4-0 weeks belong to your East leading New York Yankees, your Colorado Rockies, who are trying to get back to 500, and the Cincinnati Reds, who I've been trying to get going all year long. I was looking at them because it just doesn't make sense that they're not any better than they are, other than their division is the best in baseball. Because Chicago and St. Louis are battling for the lead, and Pittsburgh's still in it. So the other 3 teams are all good. But I ran across something that might have, it certainly didn't help. Their closer is still Aroldis Chapman and will be until he's spent more Yankee seasons than Red seasons. And he was scheduled to never pitch when behind, which sort of makes sense for a closer, right? You wouldn't see a closer come out behind very often, right?
He's historically terrible when pitching from behind. So maybe the computer knows something there.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see if he blows up. But he had barely pitched. He'd only pitched in like 17 games. So now granted they aren't ahead that often, but still. So I took that shackle off. So we'll see if they get a little extra dose of the Cuban Missile here going down the stretch. Your tough weeks included the division-leading Atlanta Braves, went 0-4. The Red Sox went 0-3 with the fourth game, of course, coming tonight. And the sad news, we had our first two teams eliminated from the postseason in the Tampa Bay Rays and the Toronto Blue Jays. So, what are we looking at here? We're about 124 games in. So it's getting to that time where it's time to start thinking about the draft picks. If only there was a draft to help these four teams out. So we'll see where they end up. That's kind of the week that was. We'll take a look at the standings here. Once we bug out, save that. So, as I've said many times, I wish the races were closer, but there really is only two races to pay attention to. Philadelphia has run away and hid in the East, up 18 games on the Mets. In the National League South, Atlanta is 9 games up on Houston. So I wouldn't say Houston's eliminated, but with 38 games to go, they'll need some help. How's that? Yeah. They have to figure another way to go after it. But they have their replica ring and trophy giveaways, so that'll keep the fans happy. In the North, that's the best one. So the Cubs beat the Cardinals to cap a 6-0 week with St. Louis, or maybe 7 wins in a row when St. Louis had 7 losses in a row. And they were tied at the beginning of the week, but St. Louis has since gained the game back on Chicago. Pittsburgh is lurking at 5 back. The Giants are running away from the Dodgers. Actually have them in a weekend series. Juan Marichal was one of our players of the day today with a 3-0 shutout of Sandy Koufax and the Dodgers. And I looked it up, and our Giants, Eternal Baseball's Giants, have beaten the Dodgers 12 out of 13 times this year. So
there's your season in a nutshell.
Yeah, I mean, LA hasn't had a bad season. They're 10 games over, right? They've scored more runs than they've given up. But for notable guys who've had tough years, Koufax might be top of the list. He's like 11-10.
Oh, wow.
And it just, that's the randomization of the numbers a little bit. Like, it could happen. And so there are some headliner guys who have really had tough years, but probably won't next year because that's the randomness of the modifier, that every player can be up or down 30% or anywhere in between every year. And that randomizer is exactly that, random. And it can't be seen and it can't be altered. So there's no way to know exactly what it is. But if you watch enough of the box scores, you can tell the guys that are scuffling. A-Rod has had a terrible year. Mattingly hasn't had a very good year for the Yankees. Dwight Gooden hasn't been very good for the Mets, because I really thought deGrom, Gooden, Seaver would be a nightmare to deal with in the NL East, and it just hasn't showed up. Let's see what else we got here. Oh, out east. So the Yankees and the Red Sox have had a tight race, but Boston had a tough week. So they're 6.5 back entering tonight, because the Yankees won earlier today. The Birmingham Knights are up 36 games on the Texas Rangers. So
with 38 to go.
Yeah. So it's coming for you guys too, Texas, Kansas City, and Tampa Bay. There aren't enough Amos Otises and Willie Whites and Frank White, Willie Wilson and Frank White to.
If you're going to make a move, guys, this is the time.
Should have been, but didn't happen. Detroit is up healthy on Cleveland by 14 games. Oakland's up 11.5 on the Angels. And the crying shame of tonight's game, Red Sox at A's. I'm a huge, huge Rickey Henderson fan. And on Wednesday, he took a questionable strike 3, argued with the umpire, and made contact with the ump and got himself suspended for a week. So there will be no Rickey tonight. And Rickey was already a stretch as their center fielder, right? Oakland kind of knew what the Yankees didn't, that center field was really not going to be his gig. And the box score I checked, their backup center fielder was Reggie Jackson.
Wow.
So it might be raining base hits in center field tonight. We'll see how it goes. But that's what we're looking at schedule wise. The only notable thing from the week that was Eddie Murray had a 22 game hit streak and was rolling along just fine. But then he ran into the Terminator that is Teddy Higuera. Teddy dropped an 0 for 4 with 3 Ks on Steady Eddie.
Teddy was a beast in his day.
Yeah, you know what? It's one of the perks or drawbacks of eternal baseball. You just need to be great in that window. You might have a shot. So Teddy Higuera got it done. And I think it was Ty Cobb was up next. I think he has like a 17 game streak going. So we'll look forward to see how that goes down the road. But as for now, I think we're ready for baseball. So let me get this fired up. And we can go head out to Oakland where there's so much foul territory that it's just an absolute pitcher's tree.
Yeah, that Coliseum is like a golf course.
Yeah. I mean, I like the pillow contract idea for a pitcher coming off an arm injury or a subpar year, that they kind of want to get to Oakland for all that foul ground or San Diego just because it's San Diego.
It's never a bad move.
No, I'd play in San Diego. You bet. Did you see the reliever who hit the grand slam in MLB?
Yeah.
I love that they went to get a shot of his dad because they knew where he was sitting, and he had already fallen to the ground, and they couldn't. You see him fall into a sea of celebrating people, and it's like, where's his dad? So good.
On Max Scherzer, no less.
Off Scherzer, yeah, and he got to wear Manny Machado's big hubcap necklace, but. In that case, I guess I'll give it a pass.
Yeah, whatever you can do for that guy. That's a moment he's never going to have again. You do it for him.
Just the confluence of that it was 8-2, I think, at the time, and he's the low man on the totem pole, just up from El Paso. When Yu Darvish's hip starts barking, and they go, "All right, we'll get the kid in, so we don't want to burn any of our good arms." And he's such a throwaway, and they're so far back that they don't pinch hit for him, right? They're just like, let him hit.
They needed to get some innings out of him.
Yeah, they get some granny. And they come back to win 9-8. So,
right.
Great story. All right, so here we are. Everybody else has played today. And we're down here. So we're going to play Boston at Oakland. Computer for Boston. And get these icons.
I was incredibly relieved when you told me that we would not be playing as the Red Sox.
I just think it's a conflict of interest, right? Because not that I would try to torpedo them, but if I made a mistake, if I forgot to replace somebody or sat somebody who was red hot, if I were a Red Sox fan, I'd wonder what Weber was up to. Because it's well known that we're both Yankee fans. So, but we'll do Oakland. Just fine.
As we are international podcast celebrities.
That's true.
It's well known.
It's true. We're bad and we're nationwide. So they've got Rickey listed as injured. He's not really injured, but we'll go with batting. So this is sorting the guys by how they're actually doing. And I love that Sal Bando snuck in here for.
Is Bert Campaneris on the roster?
He's in the minors, I think.
Too bad.
But yeah, people were pretty happy. Maybe he may not even be in the minors. So we'll move on from that topic. But Mark McGwire has been having a great year. It's usually without Rickey, it's Al Simmons and lead up. They're very right-handed heavy, and we're going against Roger Clemens, so it may not be the best.
Could be a tough day. We want the Giambino in there somewhere?
Yeah. So he can go. You can put him in front of McGwire to break up the lefties, or to break up the righties. Jimmy Fox plays an absolutely horrific third base, but that's where he ends up most of the time.
That's kind of where we need him tonight.
Steinbach is the catcher, usually, although...
There's some bad gloves in the field already.
So. Yeah, I've got Matt Chapman's having a terrible year, but he's a fantastic glove, so that's an option as well. But that would mean probably Fox at DH and Giambi out.
Yeah, perhaps late in the game if we need a defensive replacement.
Yeah.
Make that.
But Reggie's a lefty. That'll break it up a little bit. And
I would say let's move Reggie up past Terry Steinbach.
I suppose that.
Let's go lefty, righty, lefty in the middle of the order there.
Okay. Do you want Jackson ahead of Fox?
Where is he? Where is it?
Fox is at 830 OPS on the year. Reggie's at 717. So Fox has had a far better season.
Who's that you got hitting second?
I got Bob Johnson, the second baseman.
What's Bob Johnson doing this year?
He's good. He's fifth on the team in OPS, 834. He's ahead of the only guys ahead of him are Simmons and McGuire, third best hitter on the team.
All right.
I knew nothing about him, and then I learned about him as I watched more game. It called him Indian Bob because I think he was an 8th Cherokee, and it was the 20s and the 30s, and it was cool to just call a guy Indian Bob. But he's really good, and he can play second, which makes a big difference because there ain't a whole lot of history of talented second basemen in Oakland.
No, it's Glenn Hubbard.
Willie Randolph.
We know where Willie is, though. He's not eligible. He's doing the
that's true. That's true. So then it's Canseco in right, batting 8th. And then either Tejada or Jimmy Dykes. They're both right-handed. Tejada's the better glove. And we probably could use
we have to have something for defense in here.
Probably need somebody near Jimmy Fox to catch everything that caroms off of him. So bang, bang. Do I get an assist on that? Okay, so it might be Rube Waddell. Let's see.
And the easy answer is yes, he would.
Yep. So our likely guys here are Rube Waddell, Chief Bender, Lefty Grove, or Jack Coombs. So let's see who's pitching the best this year of those guys. It's like it's Chief Bender.
Let's go with Chief Bender because that's just an awesome name.
Right? Kind of digging it. All right, so there we go. So we're ready for baseball.
It's probably another horribly racist nickname, but whatever.
Probably.
Welcome to Oko Coliseum.
It probably wasn't that his dad was the fire chief, right?
Roger
Probably
Clemens
not.
takes the mound for Boston. He's made 25 starts on the year and is 13-8 with an earned run average of 2.51. His second start against Oakland. He's 1-0 with a 476 earned run average against Oakland. He'll be opposed by Chief Bender for Oakland. He's made 26 starts on the year and is 9-9 with an earned run average of 3.36. His second start against Boston. He's 0-1 with a 338 earned run average against Boston. It's 67 degrees, wind speed 12 miles per hour, in from right field. Pitching for Oakland, Chief Bender. Leading off for Boston, second baseman, number 15, Dustin Pedroia.
Pedroia.
Where'd that Dustin Pedroia play his college ball, Mike?
Washington State.
Boo! Sun Devil, baby. Sun Devil.
Oh, Bears!
Just like Reggie Jackson, center field. Well, anyway.
Our center fielder, Reggie Jack, Mr.
Right.
October.
He's rated a 4 defensively, though, and so is Rickey. So there's no drop off. Better arm, actually.
Yeah, Rickey played a lot of center field in Oakland. It wasn't really till he got to the Yankees that he became a left fiader.
I think it was early. He played some center, and they figured it out. No.
He also played some second base.
Oof! But they got him in New York. I remember him in center quite a bit, actually. But they figured that out too, right?
Yeah, they went out and got Claudell Washington specifically to move Rickey to left.
It was so weird that a guy with Henderson's speed was such a mediocre defensive outfielder. Just didn't the jump from first base didn't translate to reading that fly ball and getting in the gap.
No, he was an adequate left fielder. I don't want to say he was bad. He wasn't a bad one once they got him out of center. But
yeah, he was okay. But I always thought with his wheels, he should be at least running stuff down, and never quite felt like it.
It's a different set of instincts, man.
We got Al Simmons here, also known as Spawn, but Hall of Famer, a fantastic player. Reggie Jackson, Jose Canseco, looking smug as usual. Big Mac.
Who's going to rat out next?
Right. He's like, hey, Reggie, got any stories? You want to tell me anything? Bob Johnson, Miguel Tejada, Jimmy Fox, who Red Sox fans swear they should have. And he played like 11 years for Philadelphia, the Philadelphia Athletics, and 7 for Boston. So no, you don't get Jimmy Fox. Chief Bender, Terry Steinbach, and Mr. Sundoe. All right, here we go. Well, that didn't take long.
Third baseman, Wade Boggs.
So Reggie misplays the first ball hit to him.
The defense letting us down early.
There we go.
Letting us down often.
Here comes Wade Boggs, full of chicken, no doubt.
Chicken and beer.
Left fielder, Ted Williams.
There's another guy who's had a really down year he's Ted Williams, right? 277. Right. Like now, bear in mind, I always say this: everybody's numbers are down across the league because it's the best pitchers ever and the best hitters ever. So everybody,
except DJ LeMahieu.
Yeah. Good point. All right, Ted Williams, Bob Johnson getting it done.
Right.
Vaughn.
That's the guy we get.
Here's Big Mo.
All right.
Right fielder, Manny Ramirez.
Owner of the only 4-homer game
Pitching for Boston,
in internal baseball history.
Look at Chief Bender pitching out of trouble.
Right? Got some wiggle to him.
Al.
Yeah.
Simmons is a decent bunter, but he's a good hitter. I don't think we're choking up just yet with no outs in the first inning.
No.
All right. He's on.
All right. A dribbler.
Baseman, Bob Johnson.
I really wanted Rickey so I could go nuts all night stealing
Is this a
bases.
bunt situation?
He's not it is, but Johnson's a bad bunter. 3 out of 10. So
maybe the hit and run?
You could talk me into hit and run.
Let's try the hit and run.
We are going to have to do some stuff to get to Clemens because he's real good. So
I figure he's a guy who didn't strike out a whole lot. He's played in a time where guys didn't strike out. So
yeah, he's a good hitter. All right, we'll do the hit and run. We'll see how it works. Well,
there you go.
Okay.
There you go.
That's on you, Bob.
Designated hitter, Jason Giambi.
Giambi having the kind of season you would expect. He doesn't play all the time. But yeah, 12 homers, 231.
The Jambino.
Man, got to break out that golden thong.
Shortstop, Nomar Garcia Parra.
Nomar's having a good year. But not better than Tejada.
Center fielder, Carl Yastrzemski.
And Yastrzemski plays center, and he played enough center in Boston to qualify. But that is one thing Red Sox fans bristle at when I put up the 9-image starting lineup, right? They're like, how are you going to have Yaz in center? I'm like, were you moving Ted out of left?
Right.
Right? No. And Manny Ramirez played more right field in Cleveland than Boston, but he's qualified there. So
you can fudge that a little bit there.
Yeah. And
left field in Boston is one of those positions, right? There's so many great ones over the years that somebody's got to move out of there if you're going to put together a team.
Yeah, if you had them all in your prime, are you sitting Carl Yastrzemski? Come on.
No.
Yeah. And the other bit I get a little bristle sometimes is that Mookie Betts plays some center field too. But you can't tell me Mookie Betts can't play center. He just had Jackie Bradley next to him, so why would they bother? But he's qualified in center field. He plays some center field. In a couple of years, he'll be on the Dodgers team anyway. So enjoy him while you can, right? So glad you traded Mookie Betts.
Oh.
All right, Yaz.
Designated hitter, number 11, Rafael Devers.
So, wow, Devers is DHing over Ortiz today.
Okay.
I'll take it.
Right? Sounds like a gift to me.
With a right-hander on the mound? Absolutely.
Catcher, Jason.
Maybe Big Papi's hurt.
Maybe he's out looking for a chimichanga. Have you ever seen the SNL bit where Keenan Thompson does Big Papi?
Yeah, but I don't remember it.
He just throws in as much Spanish and Hispanic food as he can anywhere. He's like, I was very hot, like a good chimichanga. All right. Oh, it's the captain. You can tell because he's got a C on his jersey.
That's good. I needed that hint.
Was that the lamest thing ever?
Yeah.
Captains in general in baseball are kind of passe, I think.
Look,
but,
I think it's one of those things where it's a rare situation where it works.
Right. When you have a Clemente or a, trying to think who else, a Gwynn, right? Like, yeah.
Willie Randolph was a co-captain of the year.
Yeah, I got no problem with that. But don't put the C on the jersey.
Yeah, no, they didn't do that. The Yankees never did that.
No, but Varitek did.
Peter had no C on his jersey. The Yankees
Varitek did.
Smart. Varitek did because they need that kind of help in Boston.
You have to tell somebody you're the captain.
You got to spell it out for Baked Bean Billy.
You're not the captain. All right.
I'm proud that I got to work Baked Bean Billy into this.
First baseman, Mark McGuire.
Now,
send all your hate mail to Mark at eternalbaseball.com.
That's it. Now, I know he had obviously well-publicized issues, but as a kid, McGuire was a big old redheaded guy named Mark who hit big homers. So I was a big McGuire fan in his youth.
I had his little first baseman glove.
Right? There you go.
I was not a very good first baseman. So it worked.
Neither was he.
No, that's what I'm saying. It worked.
Okay. Did you have his Team USA rookie card?
I did.
That was a big one back then. All right. Take your base.
No. Good job, Big Mac.
Jimmy Fox.
Fox is a terrible bunter.
Well, we're not bunting with Jimmy Fox.
I'm just saying. I just want to make sure all options are on the table.
One of the most potent offensive forces in league history. We are not going to bunt.
He ain't here for his glove. Not at third base, obviously.
No.
And in fairness to Jimmy Fox, he played first base 95% of the time in his career. But first base is a little busy in Oakland. So.
Yeah, it's a lot busy in Oakland. You know what this team needs is a little Bert Campaneris.
You know what? That's probably the difference. All right, Sun Devil Reggie Jackson.
Do it, Reggie.
Oh, look at all that foul ground.
Yeah.
Run, Mo, run. He couldn't get there.
Hey!
And now he's winded.
Right.
Reggie.
Oh, Reggie.
Terry Steinbach.
It's going to be one of those kind of days.
Dustin Pedroia.
I get the feeling in a couple innings we're going to be looking fondly back at our hit.
Right.
Man. Get there, Reggie.
How we ran him into an out.
Wait.
Very nice.
Boggs.
Man.
Left fielder, Ted Williams.
Now, we always have the option to pitch around a guy if we're a little nervous in a situation. But it's early.
We're fine. 2 outs.
Get there, back.
Look at Big Mac getting out there.
No.
Not making it.
Can we get that Big Mac to go? No. No, you cannot. Oh, boy. Get there, Jose. All right.
Right fielder, Jose Canseco.
You know, it always happens.
Yeah.
They make a great play in the field, and then they come up the next inning.
Probably strike out.
Probably. There you go.
Shortstop,
Yoink.
Tejeda.
You say Tejeda, I say Tejada.
Let's call the whole thing off.
Fielder,
Right?
Al Simmons.
Simmons is a great bunter.
There's 2 outs. Let's
And
let him hit.
ooh, look at that.
Look at that. Look at Al Simmons.
Second
Carried
baseman,
it up.
Bob Johnson.
All
Bob
right.
Johnson. Poet and a prophet.
This is the situation we want here.
Hitter,
Right.
Jason Giambi.
Where we shock them with the bunt.
Oh, Gambino.
Mo.
I remember that guy. Man, I hated Giambi. Ugh.
There was a lot of bitterness over the loss of Tino on that, wasn't there?
It wasn't the attitude or the bat, it was the glove. Like that Mattingly to Tino bit. I wasn't used to guys missing the short hop at first, right? And the very first one went by Giambi, and I'm like, what is this? This isn't the play.
What happened here?
What's going on?
Giambi was the type of first baseman. He was a good target for his other infielders. Like he was a good receiver. But as good as he was at doing that, he had just terrible footwork and just you could hit anything hard by him.
Yeah. Ugh. All right. Manny.
Shortstop.
Didn't have the distance.
Omar.
Nope.
Garcia Parra.
Maybe worst nickname ever, Man Ram.
Yeah.
Not a good.
Sounds painful.
Good. Yeah, not creative, really. Just
first baseman, Mark McGuire.
Yeah, I would have walked him too.
Third baseman, Jimmy Fox.
Come on, double X. Come on.
Telling you.
Jackson.
Kind of a dry game so far.
There we go. Let's get started.
We need that third of the 3 true outcomes. We've got a lot of the first two. Come on, Terry. I played you over Mickey Cochran.
What is
Cochran?
Right fielder.
What is Clemens' pitch limit?
135.
Okay, so we have a chance at maybe working him out.
We're halfway there. So, yeah, maybe. If he keeps walking, guys, maybe.
This will be my 4th game. I've never seen the computer go to the bullpen. It's kind of a personal.
Yeah. Maybe we'll see. Especially with the old school guys. Like, they're stingy. They don't like to come out. But, all right, Jose. And
center fielder, Carl Yastrzemski. Designated hitter, Rafael Devers.
Go, boy. Man.
Oh, Reggie, bringing it in.
On his horse.
That thrashing that Billy Martin gave him in the dugout after the first one.
Miguel.
It's really paying off.
Reggie comes back out to the field with a black eye. Not sure how that happened.
Yeah, Billy's going to have 2 black eyes if that happens.
Right, yeah. Yeah, Billy didn't win the fight, but he got flicked in probably.
Got his point across.
Oh, now we got a guy.
That'll happen.
Try for a double with Tejada. Safe chance, 77%.
Do it.
I think we need something here. And it's Manning, too, so the arm ain't great.
He's probably going to throw it to first.
Left Al Simmons.
Let's go, Al Simmons.
2 for 2. 2. Now, Al Simmons here, it says, is a 10 bunter.
We don't want him to bunt. He's 2 for 2.
I know, but there's nobody out. You could have him on third with 1 out or maybe no outs.
Yeah, I mean, possibly. But if you think it's a prudent play, I'm willing to just give us 3 attempts at driving a man in.
All right.
Already in scoring position.
All right. Given that it's the top of the lineup, I'm agreeing with you here. Let's go. Yeah, same difference.
I mean, gave us a useful out.
Yeah, same difference.
Second baseman, Bob Johnson.
Are we stealing home?
Not at 7%.
I had to ask because, Roto isn't here today.
Yeah. He'd be considering that strong.
Send him.
Come on, Webb.
Send him. Send him, Webb.
Be a man, Webb. Look at that. Put it on the board.
Johnson.
Designated hitter.
We don't know who you are.
Giambi.
1-0. And now,
Bob Johnson's steal percentage.
46.
No.
It was 57 before the throw, but
still not good. Let's the Giambino hit into a double play.
No.
All right.
Baseman.
He was far more productive than that. And now, nowhere to put him. Big Mac, Roger Clemens in their prime. No.
Second baseman, Dustin.
Nothing will kill a rally faster.
Right. One of the tricks with Oakland, because I've seen a lot of their games this year, the pen is thin. It's pretty much Raleigh and Eck. So there's some long guys, like Vida Blue is a long reliever. And so he gives them some – the guy who was actually getting some length in the – or not length, but important innings in those 6th, 7th inning spots was Dave Stewart. And he pitched so well in long relief or mid relief that he eventually just made it into the starting rotation, where he probably should be. But
kind of like real life.
Yeah, true. But I found a great picture of him doing the death stare. Like, it was one of the biggest shockers of my baseball life as a young fan was like 3 seasons in, I finally heard Dave Stewart talk. And he had this squeaky little weird voice. And I expected it to be, like the Allstate guy, right? And it was not even close. So if he was a wrestler, they would have given him a manager, right?
But the glare, man, the glare was
so good.
Gold. Probably still gold.
So good. All right, here we go. Let's see. Pedroia.
Third baseman.
Sun Devil. What are you gonna do?
Boggs.
Wild pitch. Pass ball.
Pass ball.
So runner on third, nobody out. Top of the order. 3 lefties actually.
Let's bring the infield in. There if Boggs gets a single, then Boggs gets a single. But if you hit something soft, let's prevent the run.
That's a good call. Yeah, Wade Boggs.
Whatever. It's Wade Boggs, man.
Take your single, Wade Boggs. 1 and just that. All right.
First baseman.
Okay.
Mo.
Take that.
Vaughn.
Mo Vaughn's still breathing heavy from that pop up in the 3rd.
Oh, we're making him run again.
Right?
Ramirez.
That's not nice of us.
All right. I'm nervous about Manny just because he's ridiculous. But hey, Chief
Third
Bender.
baseman. Jimmy.
Chief's giving it his all tonight.
Yeah. We got a good man. Hey, you know what? I'll take it. Tied with Clemens halfway through? Sure. Jimmy Fox. No.
Center fielder. Reggie. Jackson.
Of course.
Catcher. Terry.
Same old
Steinbach.
Reggie.
We're seeing something like 1,400 home runs that haven't touched the baseball.
Right?
Nomar.
Oh.
Capera.
They're about due. That's what my grandfather would have said.
Center fielder. Carl. Yastrzemski.
You got to give him credit. That's closer than I would have thought it would have come on.
Yeah, not bad.
It's close.
Oof.
All
right.
You can't headbutt that one over the fence.
Right?
World famous. Toledo Mud Hens.
Yeah. That's a good stuff. And all right. We're back.
All right. That's why you're hitting.
Jose.
Look at Jose getting it started.
Tejeda.
Now, Jose does have some wheels, and sometimes if you have the guy take a pitch, the steal percentage will go up. So that's out there.
Let's do that here. Let's see what we get.
64, still not good enough.
Not at this point in a tie game. Let's go.
All right. Sorry about that, Miguel. Ooh, no.
Can of corn.
Fielder. Al Simmons.
Here's the guy.
Come on, Al. Oh, picked off. Canseco. Jackass.
Clemens and his terrible historic pickoff move.
Well, the idea that Jose wasn't paying attention
Probably
isn't a stretch.
Waving at some chick in the third base seats.
That's exactly right. Is that Brigitte Nielsen? Oh!
Hey! He's probably still standing out there.
You have to go now, Jose. That's how it works.
Catcher. Jason Varitek.
Walked back into the wrong dugout.
Bender's only at 80 pitches, and he can go 135, so we got some time with him.
Look, he's done fine.
Second baseman.
He's rolling. I have no concerns with Chief Bender.
Third baseman, Wade.
Yeah, and other than Reggie with the double he let go, the defense is held up.
Yeah.
Jimmy Fox hasn't been brutal. Reggie hasn't been brutal.
Defensive coach Billy Martin sharpened everybody up.
Oh, no.
Left fielder, Ted Williams.
Boggs with the triple.
Right.
No real threat to run, though.
No. Well, it's 2 outs, too, but just get the batter.
All right, Ted. No problem.
Right to our automatic center fielder, Reggie Jackson.
I was not worried about the flight of the ball. I was more worried about the clank of the glove, but we're good. Wah, wah. Bob Johnson. No.
Designated hitter, Jason Giambi.
The Giambino. Hey, at least he touched this one.
Yeah, he's making progress. Come about the 15th
First
inning, he'll have a base hit.
Mark McGuire.
I bet he puts him on. That's my guess here.
Yeah.
We'll see. Nope. Oh, so much foul ground. Get there, Mo. Get some. Get some. Oh.
We're cruel. Move on.
If they hit another one, I guarantee Mo just keeps running. Just down the steps into the clubhouse, right? McGuire and Dick Allen are tied for the overall RBI lead in eternal baseball. He's got 110 in 124 games. So
that's a year right there.
Yeah, he's the terror, and it's a 2-2 count. Let's see. I told you to put him on.
Third baseman, Jimmy Fox.
Come on, Jimmy.
First baseman, M.O. Vaughn.
Do we have to hit for him next time? Jesus.
Right?
Jimmy Fox.
Oh, Jose.
There's Jose.
I jinxed this with
Right
a good
fielder,
defense.
Manny Ramirez.
There we go. That's more like it.
Get under it, Bob.
Appreciate it, Bob.
Shortstop, Nomar Garcia Parra.
0 for 3. 0 for 4.
When he comes to the plate,
Brent
they play the Bob Newhart theme for Bob Johnson.
The Devers is next up, but I don't think we're pitching around Yastrzemski. Might as well go after him.
Yeah, get him.
All right. Well, same diff.
Yeah.
Designated hitter, Rafael Devers.
Now, the only thing I'm looking at here, even though Bender's throwing 115 pitches. After Devers, it's switch hitting Varitek, right-handed Pedroia, but then these 3 lefties in a row, Boggs, Williams, Mo Vaughn. So at some point here, we're going to want to know who's our best option against lefties.
I mean, Vita Blue's left-handed, so that's a strong consideration right out of the gate.
Yep, and Blue takes a while to warm up. Eckersley's great, but we don't want to use him. So I think we probably want to get Vita Blue warming up here.
Let's get Vita loose.
As a starter, it'll take him a little bit, so let's get him working. All right, so Devers, 2 down. Man, Bender's getting it done.
Plays the chief.
Fielder, Reggie Jackson.
Let's go.
Bottom of the 9th, 1-1 game. Reggie Jackson. That's on.
There we go, Reggie.
Catcher.
Look at that steal.
Steinbach.
89%.
Do it. Do it.
He's off. He's in there. All right, now Steinbach is 0 for 3. Clemens is at 129 pitches, so he's almost worn out. We do have Mickey Cochran on the bench, who's left-handed.
Do it.
All right. Cochran hasn't had quite as good a year, but
play the odds.
Well, we gave Terry 3 chances, right?
Yeah.
And he's probably tired. It's been a long game.
It's all Cochran's a Hall of Famer, man. Terry Steinbach's just a guy.
Here he is. All right. Yeah, Cochran's our best option anyway. So,
Go get him. Go get him, Mickey.
I thought it would say pinch hitting for whatever.
What's Reggie's percentage there at second base?
18.
All right, we're not worried about that then. Well,
Fielder,
tried.
Jose Canseco.
All right, Jose, you want to make up for that boner play in right field?
And the pickoff.
And the pickoff? Oh. Send Jackson home. Safe chance, 66%.
2 out of 3.
Ted Williams has a forearm. Not great.
Send him.
Send him. All right, I'm down with it.
Send him.
Because Canseco will take second anyway, right? So we still got a guy in scoring position.
Let's hope he just isn't standing. He doesn't keep running out in the right field thinking it's time to play the field or something.
Right? Or he gets creative and is like, I'll take third. I'll go right across that mound. And Dallas Braden is yelling at him, that's my mound.
He just takes the mound thinking it's a base.
All right, here we go. Reggie.
Reggie.
Let's see the wheels.
He's in clean.
Canseco walks it off. Just how we intended it.
The final score from Oko Coliseum.
Our third base coach, Riverboat Gambler Carney Lansford,
has
said
won 5 straight. Chief Bender is the winner. He is now 10-9. Roger Clemens is the loser.
Wow.
He is now 13-9. Time of the game, 2 hours.
Suck on that, baked bean, Billy.
I love that Clemens had subpar stuff for this game and still went 8 1/3, 2 earned, 11 strikeouts. Now, I watched a few, but
5 walks, yeah. A lot of base runners.
yeah,
Way out of it. He's a pro.
Wow, McGuire was 0 for 1 with 3 walks. He wanted nothing to do with McGuire. I guess I can't blame him.
Yeah.
But Chief Bender, that's some performance right there.
Yeah.
Very exciting.
A virtual shutout.
Yeah,
No
absolutely.
run.
Yeah. Well, and we like winning. It's like better than losing. So,
Reggie.
Right? Oh man, so good. So and Jose just eating up that media attention after the game, I'm sure. So
Reggie Jackson's legs won us a ball game. How about
that's it? More so than
stealing second and then taking the score on the single to the left.
former football player, right? For Arizona State. Yeah,
he's a Sun Devil, baby.
Man, and I read in Henderson's autobiography that if he hadn't gotten drafted high enough, he was going to go to ASU because they told him he could play baseball and football, like his idol, Reggie Jackson. And I'm like, I don't know if I could have handled Rickey Henderson, the Sun Devil. That might have been like the confluence of, I can't change his high school, but Rickey the Sun Devil, oh my God, like ridiculous.
Everything coming together in Webb's world.
So good, right? So congratulations to the Oakland A's. Tough loss for the Boston Red Sox as they dropped 7 back. Yankees are pulling away in the East. And let me tell you, it's not just a Yankee thing because they go Cy Young, Pedro Martinez, Roger Clemens. Nobody wanted to see Boston in the playoffs. So luckily they go Dutch Leonard, Luis Tiant, 4-5 or something like that.
Hey, man.
No offense to El Tiante, but
what happens when you don't give your family any bacon?
That's what I'm talking about. So anyway, congratulations to Oakland with a 2-1 win. That'll wrap up the Saturday schedule of Eternal Baseball, but the rest of this current series wrap up tomorrow. We'll be back with another Eternal Baseball podcast next week. But before the Eternal Baseball podcast, on Friday nights at 9 o'clock Eastern, it's my favorite podcast, the What's on Joe Mind podcast, with founder or co-founder. And
No. I'm not the original cast. I've just been there so long that people forget.
Whatever. Lead dog, Mike Irizarry, will tell you all about the What's on Joe Mind podcast.
Before we change subjects, I just want to call attention to the fact that I am 2-2 managing baseball games on Eternal Baseball podcast.
Better than me or Brent.
I am the winningest manager by percentage,
right,
in league history.
The start of a Hall of Fame career for sure.
Bring my hands down so people can see me gesturing.
Right, you won this one without Willie.
I was a little unsure myself, but baseball's been very, very good to me.
Right,
and so I 2-2.
Not bad.
Like Chuck Woolery. 2 and 2.
Right.
Anyways, What's on Joe Mind? We do it every Friday at 9 p.m. We do have our live stream. We are starting to introduce smaller segments that are a little easier to digest during the week as we get the material to do that sort of thing. So check us out. Even if you have even a passing interest in the world of G.I. Joe and toys and movies, and we got that Snake Eyes movie coming up at the end of the month. Hey,
allegedly.
If you're fired up about that, come on, chat with us about that. You can hear Weber be bitter about it. It's all good fun. We have a great time. It's the two of us and Joe Colton. We are all fans. We've known one another for several years now, and so it's a good time. It's like hanging out with your pals, and everybody's on the same page. So, what's on Joe Mind? WOJM. What's on Joe Mind on Facebook and YouTube. We're at WOJM Podcast on Twitter, at What's on Joe Mind on Instagram, although you'll forgive me for not having a whole lot. I update Instagram about once a month. And yeah, that's that. Join us. Otherwise, we know who you are.
Mm-hmm. We can find you. We'll track you down. And this is a good week to join in because Mike's the master of ceremonies, the ringmaster, the founder of the feast, and he's off this week. So it'll be an absolute mess. It'll be Thunderdome. It'll be great. So tune in and see what kind of a mess Joe and I can make when Dad's not home.
I'm going to tune in, and I'm going to see the two of them arm wrestling somehow. Even though
right.
they're 1,000 miles away from one another, they'll
right.
be trying to establish dominance.
You're gonna be like 5 minutes late to the broadcast. Come in with the box of C Nugs, and it's just gonna be color bars.
Yeah, it's gonna be. We'll see Biff McHonky Donk, guest host, with a tattered headband, screaming over the top.
Right. You'll see Will Ferrell marching around, going, "The weatherman is dead." All that and more on this upcoming edition of What's on Joe Mind. So
yeah, it's a bad week to hit me up for a promo because I got no idea what's coming up.
Right? Who knows? But it'll be good. Anyway,
I miss once a year, and this is what happens.
Yeah, right? it's gonna be amazing. Yeah, we're not getting our cleaning deposit back. That's for sure. So join us for the What's on Joe Mind podcast, and join us again next week for the Eternal Baseball podcast. Again, you can find us. Best place is the homepage, eternalbaseball.com. You can find us on Facebook. You can find us on Instagram. You can find us on Twitter. New games every day is about Friday. And we're getting close to the playoffs. The playoffs are going to be a ton of fun because we've got some real runaway teams. It'll be fun to see what happens when they smash together in the playoffs. So for Mike Irizarry, I'm Mark Weber. We appreciate you joining us and hope we'll see you again right here. Let me see if I can get this right. On the Eternal Baseball Podcast.
That holds a lot of corpses. I have to commend the theme song because